Hi, everyone, and welcome to Let's Get Visible, a podcast for small business owners, helping them to grow, have a sustainable business, and get more visibility online. I'm Dawes Brown, and I'll be bringing you SEO and digital marketing tips, as well as interviews and conversations with other small business owners. So, let's get started. Today, I'm joined by Oksana. She is a brand engagement and customer experience expert and entrepreneur who is passionate about business, human connections, personal growth, and doing things differently. She has a unique ability to creatively identify how to engage your clients and execute new growth opportunities. Her business journey started in Russia, where she developed her holistic and pragmatic approach. Now she uses these skills to help her clients' brands stand out and stay on top of mind. As a founder of Impero, she works with clients on brand engagement, as well as developing cool and fun ideas using memorable promotional products. She's passionate about products with purpose that are ethically sourced and sustainable. Oksana regularly shares insights about brand strategy and growth at marketing panels and conferences, and has been interviewed on numerous business podcasts and industry news. So, let's welcome to the Let's Get Visible podcast, Oksana.
Thanks, Doreen.
Thank you for being part of today's podcast. Now, we recently connected via our weekly cuddles when COVID-19 hit, and it was your one-liners that had me giggling and thinking that we're going to get on really well. So I'm sure some of those will pop up during our chat today. Now, in the introduction, I mentioned that you are the founder of Impero. So can you tell me and our audience just a little bit about why you decided to launch your own business?
I came to Australia 19 years ago just to study English. And when I got my residency, the first thing I did is started my business, I think because maybe I'm not employable, or I'm a creator and I enjoy to be my own boss. So business is my playground. I enjoy meeting people, creating ideas and bring them to life. So Impero I started 17 years ago.
Wow.
After
Yep.
Originally I started a hamper company called Gifts on the Run. It's kind of pivoted to corporate market just a few years after I started Gifts on the Run. Yes, so Impero is a merchandise promotional product company.
Mm-hmm.
Impero itself, the word comes from Latin. It's a Latin word. It means to lead, to be the influencer. So I like the name, and the domain was available, and I've been doing it for 17 years. In August, it's going to be 17 birthday.
Wow, congratulations. That is, a very, very long time. And I'm sure that during that time you would have gone through many different experiences as a business owner. Is there anything in particular that stands out when you launched up until now from, as part of that business journey that you've been on?
I built my entire business through networking.
Yep.
As I came here, I didn't know anyone, and my connection is my oxygen, right? So I think for some people it's more natural than others. I love networking. I'm very curious, and I'm a giver. So I always think if you help enough people to get what they want, you always get what you want.
Yep.
And I started sales when I was 7. So I love sales. When people's afraid of sales, I think it's just a story they make in their head.
Yes.
I think it's beautiful. I never treat it as a sales. I always ask right questions or learn to ask better questions. And I think Tony Robbins said the quality of your life is in direct proportion to of your ability to ask And I learned to ask the right questions. And then my attitude is, if somebody have a problem or struggling with something and then I have a solution, this is my duty to help them. And
Absolutely.
somebody might call it sales, but I call it a problem, and the bigger the more money you get.
Yeah,
So find the
absolutely.
big problems.
Yeah. Big problems, big money. I
Yep.
love it. I love it. And you said you started in sales when you were the age of 7.
Yes.
So what were you doing at the age of 7 in sales? Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
So I was growing up in Russia, garden, a piece of land, and we literally grow everything because we didn't have much. It was communist time. It was not much in the shops, so we grow strawberries. And I, as a 7 years old, was the one who is not growing the strawberries but selling the strawberries. So my parents purchased the first car,
Hmm.
me selling strawberries at the age of 7. So it was very easy for me because I had the product knowledge, right? We grow the strawberries,
Yeah.
and I simply sell strawberries by offering, saying, "Would you like to try a strawberry?"
Yeah.
And the next step they say, "Oh, we love it." And then I tell them the story how we grow that and what's the difference between this shape, and this is more sweet, and this is more sour, and this one will be better in transport. And I think they just, I don't know, looking back, I'm thinking they probably just fall in love with my enthusiasm and approach and purchase the strawberries. And
Yeah. And do you feel like that passion and that approach has helped you when you've come to Australia and then you've launched your own businesses? It was the same, I guess, foundations and principles that helped you be successful with those businesses as well, even though obviously a 7-year-old to um, to an adult, there is lots of differences there, but the foundations and the principles behind, as you said, explaining the story of the product, but knowing what it is that you're selling and the variations of it being the sweet and the sour and all that kind of thing. Yeah, it's probably helped with your current current businesses here in Australia.
definitely, because I'm grateful for my upbringing and my family that my belief anything is possible. So I don't have a fear of asking. I don't have a fear of having a conversation. It's why I love networking. I can walk at any room, regardless if it's politician or plumber. I can find something in common and have a conversation. And I think this is what's very important in sales. Just
Mm,
if you don't focus, oh my god, how much I'm going to sell. If you focus, let's just connect as a human, and the
yes.
rest the rest then the business happen.
Yeah.
Because nowadays it's not, in Russia was shortage of many things. So in Australia you don't have a shortage. Like a lot of time we buy things just because. Sometimes I buy jeans or jumper because I was waiting for the friend, and I walked to the shop, and I connected with the salesperson,
Yes.
and we had a good chat, and before you got a new jeans. Did you?
Walking out in a new pair of
Yeah,
jeans. Love it.
did
Yep.
you? Yeah. So it's I
Yep.
think regardless, it's not. I always say, people asking, is your business B2B or B2C? I think we're all in B2P business. It's people to people.
Absolutely. And I love that. And that was one of the first things that you shared with me when we started catching up with our cuddles is the people to people and the connection. And that really stuck with me as one of your one-liners. I think you need to definitely, coin that one as Oksana's line because it really did. It really sat with me and it made me think about, I guess, the way in which I connect with my, people and the difference that it's made when you incorporate things like your personal brand and the face of your business is you. That's what people want more of. It's not necessarily the product itself, is it? It's the connection that they're making, as you said, walking into a store, connecting with the person, behind the counter, and you're walking out with a new pair of jeans, but it wasn't necessarily those pair of jeans that you needed. It was more that you've walked in, had that conversation, made that connection. It's that people to people thing. And you're like, now I want to buy something, because now you've made that connection with me, and I'm happy to purchase that.
And opposite also true. Sometimes you're actually walking in to purchase something, and the way person treated you, you just think,
walk straight out.
Straight out.
Yeah.
It's many, we have options how to buy, and it's become human experiment. We can buy anything online without any hassle. So this is more like a show or experiment that we're kind of having out when we're outside the house. It's not the need, it's not the immediate thing that we really need this lipstick or new runners. I think we all have plenty.
Yes, we all have too much of everything. And so how do you stand out and take it to that next level? And it's definitely, for me, I agree with you, people to people, and making that connection. And that's what is then the sale. It's not necessarily, just the product. But another great takeaway, walking in and having a terrible experience can actually turn you off that purchase. So it really is key, and is the important part, before a transaction of dollars is made. So yeah, love it.
Definitely.
Yeah. How would you best describe, I guess, the way that you serve your customers and your audience? So if you can tell us just a little bit more about your process and, how that works, and how you work with other businesses and organizations to help them with what it is that you do.
I'm very pragmatic, and I think it's come from my Russian background, and because I'm all about building relationships, so I'm not really interested in transactional supplying someone product without asking the question, what are they trying to achieve? So over the years, I created the approach I'm using, because when people come to me and said, look, we're looking to buy product X, I always say, talking about the product, it's really step number 4, right? So I have a blueprint, 5-step blueprint on brand engagement that I created.
Okay.
But a lot of time when businesses, especially small businesses, larger businesses, they will have a strategy and probably more knowledge and better resources. But small businesses, if they think of promotional product, they straight away jump into, I think we should do pen with our logo, or we should do the notebook. And a lot of time they don't really put thoughts why they're doing it, or what are they trying to achieve, and what the purpose. And when you think about it, the product itself might be standalone as a beautiful product. For example, if you're thinking about champagne and you think, I have a bottle of French champagne, I'm going to give it to all my clients. Don't you think it's a beautiful product, Oksana? And 15 years ago, I probably will say, yeah, it is a beautiful product. But now, being in business for so long, I would say, I don't know. It depends. Because if your customer not a drinker, you're giving them French champagne, just demonstrated that you don't know them, number one. And secondly, you don't care to know them. So often you go to the conferences, and first what they do, they assume that all 500 or 5,000 people that come into the conference, all of them need a bag and a notepad and a drink bottle and whatever they're giving out.
Yeah.
And I think this is not the right approach, because instead of actually doing the product and then try to find the purpose, and a lot of people take the stuff because it's for free, but it's actually not, if it's not useful, it's gonna end up in the landfill. And nowadays people are so conscious, and we have to, it's add no value, it's not, you're just wasting your money. So my 6-step purpose before product, this is what we have to have this conversation. It's like doctor will diagnose you before giving you the pill.
Yeah.
Right? You don't go to the doctor and say, look, can you please subscribe me this particular pill? The good doctor, the bad doctor probably will say, yeah, sure, here's a subscription. And then
Yeah.
you end up with other problem 2 weeks later. The
Yeah.
good doctor will say to you, why do you think you need this pill? And you might say, oh, I did some Google research and I self-diagnosed, and I think,
I do that.
this is the pill I require.
Yeah.
But is it correct approach? Because same in our industry, if I start asking, how did you come up with this idea? Did you do your customer research? Because data, I'm mathematical background. For me, research and data, this is when you make decision based on data, this is very powerful. This is where
Yes.
you can measure the results. And if you just use sounds like a good idea approach, a lot of time it's achieve nothing, you wasted the money. So I would just advise to people, and if people come to me and say this is what I want and they can't even give me the reason why, I actually prefer not supply to them, because this is my social responsibility to not be a part of the rubbish or products that have no purpose, just end up where? In the ocean, in the landfill.
Yeah.
And I can't control everything, but I certainly can start with myself by making a choice, not supply people who are looking for the cheapest product. Cheapest product might use child labor.
Yeah.
Why is it so cheap? You have to wonder. We only use factories that actually comply and have certificates, and it's no child labor, and it's environment that people work in. Some factories don't comply, so I choose not to purchase from them because I'm not price-driven
No.
person.
Yeah. I love it. I'm really into, so these 6 steps, is there like just a very top level overview of what those 6 steps,
Yes.
include? Yeah.
Yes, I'm happy to share. So the first, so it's why, who, what, where, how, and when. And for those who listen, if you guys want to get a pen and paper and to make a note for yourself, so it might help you for the future when you decided to do something promotional, product wise, or any marketing wise, but it's even applicable to digital world. So start with why, understanding the reason. What's the why are you doing it? Are you exhibiting at a trade show, or is it the thank you gift for your client, or do you have referral program? So what's the purpose of you deciding we need this product? Number 2 is define your target market.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I always, when we talk about target market, of course, you can look at the age, demographics, what do they read, where do they live. But I always ask them, give me the adjectives that will describe them. Are they fun? Are they creative? Are they adventurous? Are they traditional? Because wherever we give, if people are conservative, we don't want to, your customer conservative, you don't want to give them the product that too innovative and quirky and fun.
Or that will offend.
Exactly. So people who travel Qantas, it's very different target from people who travel in Jetstar. So when we're choosing the product, we need to have a clear picture. Who are they? What describe them? Are they 100% the same? Are all your recipients the same? You put them in the same category, or you separate them like economy class, business class, and first class.
Yeah.
And every single of them will get a different treatment, get a different product.
Yep.
You certainly don't want to give person who is traveling first class, you're giving them water. This is why they get French champagne. So same in your business, define who is your target.
Mm-hmm.
So next step number 3, it's what. This is where I talk about what is actually your brand. Describe your brand. Like our brand, I'm creative, I'm outside the box thinker, I'm memorable, and I'm fun. So
Yeah.
everything I give out, I want to make sure I don't give boring products.
Yeah. Because that's not you. Yeah.
It's not me. Or if you say we're all about quality, and then you shop around to buy the cheapest umbrella on the market that's gonna break.
Yeah.
And this and people don't think about it, but the umbrella that's gonna break, it's actually communicates subliminal message. I'm not gonna trust you because
Yeah.
you just gave me product that's actually fall apart.
Yep.
And people forget how much they pay, but they will remember the experience. This is all back to experience that they had. So make sure, and if you don't have a budget, a lot of time people say to me, but I don't have a budget to buy good quality. Of course you do. If you want to communicate quality, buy Lindt chocolate,
Yes.
because Lindt chocolate communicate quality. Don't buy something that will fall apart.
Yeah.
Or if you don't have a budget, guess what? I think it's better do nothing than give something cheap and nasty that's going to fall apart and going to
Yes.
actually damage your brand.
Yeah. I agree 100%. Yep.
So next step is where.
Yep.
Where is location? Location, location, location.
Mm-hmm.
So where is your customer when they are potentially ready to make decision to use your service or product?
Mm-hmm.
Where are they? Because we want to give them the product that's going to remind them of us when they're ready to purchase. For example, if you're a restaurant or you're a plumber, most likely people are in the house, they need your service. So fridge magnet will make a perfect sense. Or if you're a locksmith, you put a stick outside the gate, because if you lock yourself out, it's no point to give a fridge magnet with a locksmith, put it on the fridge, because they're not going to find you.
That's logic. Yeah.
Logic, but common sense is not
Common
that really
sense.
common,
It's not
right?
common. No.
Not very common. Or if you think all my people are actually spending majority of the time driving, right?
Yeah.
So then we need to look at the product that would be appropriate for the car.
Yeah.
But
Got it.
people don't think about it.
No.
People don't think about where the people. So this will help you to give something that's useful, because 83% of people keep promotional products if they are useful. So
Okay.
our job to find the useful thing. How do we find the useful thing? We need to know where the customer are.
Yep.
So this is step number 4. Step number 5 is distribution strategy. The success of any promotion define how you're going to distribute it. And I love to give examples because this is kind of give people a picture and they can understand. For example, you giving chocolate and you distribute it by courier. Like, are you doing it by mail, or you doing it personal delivery, or you just standing in the stand and hanging out the product? This is what's the distribution channel for the product X. Let's call it product X because we still don't know what product is.
Yeah.
So if you're delivering chocolate on 24th of December in Sydney, perfect chocolate that you might spend $50 for the box. Guess what? It's going to be disaster.
I know.
Right? Because it might melt.
Of
Or
course.
if you
Yeah.
decide send some beautiful glass bottle and you're saying to me, we're going to send it to our clients Australia-wide with Australia Post, I will say to them, not a good product, because you have a chance it's going to break. Even if one going to be broken. This is one person that's suddenly having a bad experience about you. Imagine, it's the company who sent us the broken jar. Oh, great.
Yep.
So make sure that you're very clear about your distribution channel. But again, if you're at the trade exhibition and it's December and it's air conditioning convention center and you're giving the product out, no problem.
Yep.
It's a very, very different. Or you're choosing something so heavy that cost you $2, but delivery cost you $27. So it's very important, because people order the product and then they think, oh my God, it's going to cost us fortune to deliver. And I'm thinking, what were you thinking before you order?
Yep.
But they don't think about. If you don't think about it, this is how it's end up costing you more or end up not really working.
Yeah.
And the last one is step number 6 is when. So it's an execution of your launch plan or the rollout. This is basically one of, I believe that victory require planning.
Yeah.
So if you want something to be successful, plan ahead. You can save money, you can achieve better outcome, you can find a better product, you can make it more customized. Don't leave it until last minute and just do something because you just think, oh, we should really do it.
Yep.
And this is basically the 6 steps that help you to engage and make sure. Then when you know all the answers, suddenly you will say, oh, let's look at this product. Does this represent us? Does this connect to the customer? Does this going to be useful for the customer when they need us?
Yes.
And what's the budget? So also, what's the budget? When people say, how much is it? It's like, how much are the shoes?
Yeah.
Some people buy shoes for $50. Some people buy shoes for 5,000.
That's right.
What's the purpose? Exactly. If you're selling $5 million property and you want to give a gift when people sign the contract with you, of course you're not going to give them $1 pen.
No.
So you're happy to give them $1,000 pen and say, listen, keep it. Thank you,
Yep.
congratulations. But if you're at the exhibition and you're giving out thousands of products, of course your budget is $1 or $2. But then again, I always say qualified. Don't just give stuff out for sake of it. If they're not qualifying, if they're not interested, if they're not, what's the next step in your customer journey design? Because the product itself is just a tool to take them to the next step in
Love
engagement with you. So it's very strategic.
Yeah, and I love that. I love
Yeah.
that there is a strategy behind it, because so many decisions that we make, when we're trying to market our business, is I think we look for, sometimes the wrong things. We're not looking at that step-by-step process and how all of those pieces of the puzzle actually connect together.
Definitely.
And if you miss one or two of those steps, the actual outcome at the end can be quite, detrimental. As you said, you don't want that one client getting the, broken glass vase or jar in the mail, because that is how they are going to remember you and your brand, and what message is that really sending out for you. So having something that's a little bit more formulated, that does have a structure, that does have a strategy, actually makes it easier. So
absolutely.
you
Discipline
might
give you freedom. Discipline
it
give you
does.
freedom. And it's same with the social, Doreen. People might come to you and say, what platform should I use? We have LinkedIn and Instagram and Facebook, and all of them fine. But what's the outcome? What's the strategy? Because it's not about platform. If your customers are not there, Facebook might be the wrong platform. So if you're choosing the wrong platform and then you blame the platform, or you're choosing the wrong product and then you blaming the product.
Yes.
But in reality is nothing wrong with the product.
No.
Promotional direct mail nowadays, direct mail, did you know direct mail have 100% opening rate? 100%.
Wow.
If you send 100 boxes out to 100 customers, every single of them
will open.
Will be open.
Yeah.
Amazing.
It
So
is
if
amazing.
this is a statistics, don't you want to use it? But you have to be very careful what you're going to put in the box, and look at it as a big part of your marketing strategy and the plan. It's not random. Marketing is not random.
It's
a lot
not.
of people treat it as a random act of activities. And it's not.
And it's not. And every platform has its intention and purpose. And I have this conversation quite regularly with my clients and potential clients about, what is it that I guess are your long-term and short-term goals? Because even something like what I do, so SEO, which is organically getting that visibility, there is an intention and purpose behind it, but you need the strategy and planning, and you need a map in place in order to, as you said, connect with the right audience and people online. It's not just a matter of going in, updating a whole bunch of things, and then turning around and saying, oh, it doesn't work. It won't work unless you do it and do it properly, and you're exactly, where it is that you need to be and where it is that you want to go. There's lots of steps that happen in between. So lots of nuggets there. But in hindsight, having, been in business and running your businesses for 17 years, is there anything when you look back that you would do differently, and why? And it can be a bit of a hard one, because I know for myself, I see them all as lessons. So sometimes when things don't go right and they go left, they are definitely still learnings and things that we can take with us, I guess. But if there's anything specific that comes to mind for you.
Yeah, this my one liner here: experience is what you get when you didn't get what you really wanted.
Yes. I knew you'd have a good one.
I think I would. I'm not really. A lot of over the years, many people want to partner with me in business, and I'm grateful I didn't, because I think statistically I didn't see enough cases of partnership succeeding. So in terms of not even employing, but I wish sometimes, because it could be lonely in business if you are self-made and you're the boss. Sometimes I get tired to be the boss. I wish someone could take the boss shoes for a little bit from me.
Yes.
So I think I wish I had people probably that I would join my team, or not in partnership, but in sort of on the C-level kind of panel that had skills that I don't really have, or not my strong skills, like in terms of digital and automation and all of that stuff. I think it's a big space, and I don't believe that you should really. I have no interest to go and learn it, because if I'm doing what I'm doing for 20 years, this is why I become so good at it. So if somebody doing digital for 20 years, even if I start learning it and spend, I'm still going to be useless compared to them. So I think I wish I probably had someone who had knowledge that can add to them structure to take it to the different level, because business changes so much.
Yeah, that's true too.
Technology, the way people search, and then the new generation comes. So if you were in business when I started 15 years ago, now we have whole new market that we not even it was not exist 15 years ago. But do we actually know how to service them? Do we actually know how they communicate, how they buy? So it's completely different type of business in 2020 if you compare it to year 2000. So this is probably what I will do differently. Maybe it's not too late. I don't know.
That's it. It's never too late. It's never too late.
Opportunities.
Yeah, never say never. Now, you did mention that you love networking. So has most of your networking in relation to building your business and your visibility of your brand, has most of that been in person, or do you also do some of that online?
Well, I used to be famous for, I will go to the opening of envelope, I would say. When I started, I had no office, I had no car, I have no employees. So I attended, I think first few years, I was attending 400 functions a year. I literally will go from breakfast function to lunch to dinner networking event. And I think it's helped. I know I got 10,000 connections on LinkedIn. Nowadays, it's much easier. You can do both. Now, mostly I go to the networking functions that if the speaker is of interest to me or the topic. Also with the networking, what I learn after going to so many different networks, I'm very selective now. I
Yeah.
only go where my customers are.
Yes.
Potentially could be. I don't go to meetups, all of this, I've done BNI and all of that. And it's just not for me. If you start up and if your people are there, if your potential customers are there, but I know my potential customers not going to be at this meetings, so I go to the meetings that when it's a panel or when I'm presenting. So I'm very strategic now because I value my time.
Yes.
Over the years when yeah, this is a lesson that I learned, and it's not because you change. It's only 24 hours in a day, and we are the conductor of this, conductor of
Symphony.
the
Yeah.
symphony. So it's up to us how we're going to use it, and then we have to make choices. And it was hard for me, to learn to say no and don't feel
Yes.
guilty about it.
Yeah.
It's interesting, but I think I got better with that. And sometimes because you build a personal network and people over the years, it's actually easy to reach out and connect and start the conversation. And look what's happened in the last 2 months.
I
Like
know,
I
right?
connect with so many people, and it's so easy because you literally are making a note who is on Zoom, connecting with them straight away on LinkedIn and sending them a message. Hey, we just been on the same Zoom call. You want to chat? Literally, I can get a phone call with this person in the next few days. Amazing.
Yes. It's amazing.
Amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the power of it. And this has come up a couple of times in interviews on the podcast as well about the saying no, and about being quite selective with where you go and when you go, because as you said, there's only 24 hours in a day. And when you are the conductor of your own symphony, you've also got to make time to actually do the work. So if you're spending, breakfast, lunch and dinner just at networking events, and you're not then getting, I guess, the outcomes that you're looking for from that,
Or
all
not
you're
even
doing.
connecting with people,
Yeah.
collecting cards, but never sending them emails, never taking it to the
Yes.
next step. So what's the
Yeah.
purpose?
What's the purpose? Yeah. So I think your 6-step process is also relevant for networking, because you've got to
Yeah,
think about
absolutely. Yeah.
who, what, when, where, how, and why, instead of going to every, opening of the envelope, as we say. We've got to think about, well, what's the purpose and intention of me going there, and what value am I taking away? So very similar to you, if it's a topic or if there's a speaker that is of interest, to me, then I will definitely make the effort and the investment of my time and that ticket purchase to attend. But I'm so selective now, compared to what I was when I first launched my business, where I would just kind of try and go to everything, meet as many people as I could. But I just found I was getting really burnt out quite quickly, because then I'd have to make up the time to do the work. And not all of those connections are going to eventuate into, new customers or long-term, connections from a business or personal perspective. So yeah, I think evaluating that, a lot of us go through that process. Initially, yes, we do go to absolutely everything, and then over time we just become a little bit more selective based on that experience. Definitely agree with you there. Now, we are up to the naughty C word, which is COVID-19. And I just wanted to ask, we've, again, been through our cuddles and we get to catch up on a regular basis, but what would you say have been some of the major changes that you've seen with your own business as a result of COVID-19? And have these changes either helped or hindered you?
I think we become a little bit more human in the last few months.
Yep.
Priority change in terms of maybe it's give us opportunity to validate what's important.
Yep.
Business-wise, I think last few months, again, from branding perspective and building your brand, I think it's been amazing opportunity for people become visible. Like some weeks, I actually count a couple of weeks where I saw more than 100 people. More than 100 people actually saw me, because you have 20. Normally when you have one-on-one,
Yes.
your capacity is what? 20 meetings, 20 people a week maximum.
Yes.
Like even maybe not even that, right? But if we maximum with
Yes.
Zoom, you can see 5 times more.
Yes.
5 times more people. But again, you need to be strategic. I actually wrote my last newsletter was the topic was, can you build your brand virtually?
I read that one. Yep.
Yeah, and I talk about don't you can literally take this opportunity to build your brand and turn up. If you turn up in the Zoom, if you're the brand, put your banner, put your branding behind it, turn up wearing your corporate colors, ask the right question, ask the questions, engage. Don't just switch off yourself and not showing the face. Might as well don't turn up if this is what you're going to do. If you're the corporate people and it's a team of you, wear your uniform, because then you feel like part of the team. If you're doing virtual conferences, like we've been busy sending conference packs, because you can still bring the experience and join the energy in the group together by, I don't know, maybe Uber deliver breakfast before our breakfast conference. We got our lunch
Yes.
conference. Or maybe you send flowers, or maybe we're sending fitness packs that employers send to the employee because they're working from home, or some work from home kit. So
Yeah.
it's a lot of opportunities, and as a business owners, this is our duty, and this is we choose to be in business, because
Yes.
we need to be adaptable, and we need to, doesn't matter what's happened to the market, to the outside world, we're in business. So as a business owners, we need to look at every opportunity and say, okay, how we need to adapt and change. And look how fast majority of us change. And some people choose to sing the sad song. And guess what? I just don't get engaged with these people. Because they say there's the saying, don't talk to the negative people. They have problem for every solution.
Yes.
And some people are like this. So,
Yep.
but we don't need to be part of this army. So you can find your people, like Seth Godin says, people like us do things like that.
Yes.
And this is more joyful, and this is more beneficial, and we can all learn from each other. And look, I grew up in Russia. We never had toilet paper, and we had empty shelves for 20 years.
Yes.
So it makes you put things into perspective. It makes you more, I'm very resilient, and I'm grateful for that. And the way I am, it's because of my upbringing. So
Absolutely. Yep.
and this is just another lesson or another experiment to see who's gonna bounce back
And who's going to survive? Yeah.
survive, and those who will survive will be better and stronger. And I said in the last, I never connected more with the clients than in the last 8 weeks, because suddenly everyone got more time. You can
Yes.
actually have a conversation. Before, I could not catch any corporate manager because they're running between meetings, between events. Suddenly I have a luxury, have 20 minutes conversation with my customers, and
Yes.
really get to know them. As a marketer, the biggest thing we're lacking is to have a strategy and take time to create the campaign. And create any good campaign require 8 to 12 weeks. So you can sit and do nothing and wait until things happen, or you can say, you make a choice
Yes.
to prepare, to plan, to do your research, and benefit when we're all back to normal. And look, I think we're over this critical situation already. Things are reopening, we're back, and those who used to be silent or switch off the light completely, I think they're going to be behind.
Yep. Absolutely. Yeah, no, agree again with so many gold points, gold nuggets from those, points that you've raised there as well. It is the time to look at how we're doing things, why we're doing things, and making sure that, when we come out the other end, the new normal is that we are part of that process and we're still sticking around. Which is definitely why, we got into business. We want to stay in business. So very important. Well, thank you so much, Oksana, for your time today. You've shared so much of your experience and knowledge, and I'm even walking away with notes and things that I've written down as you've been speaking. So if you'd like to get in contact with Oksana, you can reach her at impero.com.au. She's also on LinkedIn under Oksana Koryakova, as well as on Instagram at Impero by Oksana. Now, you did have a bit of a giveaway for our listeners today. So can you tell us a little bit about little ideas that make your message stick and how we can get involved with that?
I put the little ebook together with some ideas that help with the taglines, because I think tagline is so important. And if you add the tagline to the product, think about Kit Kat, right?
Yes.
The tagline it's stronger than the chocolate itself.
Yeah.
Same with Nike. Just do it. So how we can actually use the product with a tagline to emphasize the message.
I love it.
Don't just give umbrella. Say, look, we're giving you umbrella because we're insurance company and we got your insurance covered. Or we're sending promotional socks and we sending with a message saying, if you're looking for promotion product that knock your socks off, get in touch. So
I love it.
Yeah, it's all fun and creative, because some people say I'm not that creative. How can I come up with ideas? So I put this little ebook, and for those who are interested, it's 23 ideas that I share out of 52.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm happy to email it to you. Just send me email oksana@impero.com.au and mention this podcast so we know where people coming from.
Yes.
And yes, happy to share your resources. Follow me on Instagram. I put ideas on Instagram as well. And if anyone need anyone have any questions or they need help with brand engagement, I'm happy to have a phone chat if I can be of assistance.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your time. So great to spend it with you. And I know our audience is going to love this episode as well. But yes, look forward to continuing our catch-ups, our regular catch-ups and cuddles. And yes, we shall be speaking again soon. But thank you, Oksana. Thanks so much for listening today and making time to tune in. If you enjoyed today's podcast, please leave a review and some feedback. If you'd like to learn more about me or my services, you can find me at doreenbrown.com.au with links to social profiles so you can connect with me on there as well. Well, that's it from me today. So see you next time for the next installment of Let's Get Visible. You know, man.